So what you have here is a vintage clock right here by that brand there. You got his and her alarms, and it works still. This is how they made things years ago. I think it's really totally fantastic. I came in here to do a video on electronics because I love vintage electronics. It's understanding how electronics work, what you're dealing with. You know, the biggest problem when you get an electronic item, and I hear this a lot from one of my other, you get vintage equipment but you have no remote controls. I had to buy a remote control for one of my DVD players just to make it work, and without a remote control you're not working any of this stuff. It would be nice to have the original remote. To buy an original remote, let's say I have a TV that comes in, the remote can run anywhere from $10 to $15. There's time you add up the shipping. But here's the clock, and there's the brand right there. And this goes to show the vintage of electronics, how good things were made back in the day. And I'll show you the clock moving in a minute. It works. All the buttons are working here. To show you right there. You go back, forward. His and her alarms. They work. You know. So what we have here on the bench today is a vintage clock digital. Now, I'll tell you a little story about these clocks. The Lumiton clocks were a mechanical movement, and I think the Heat Kit clocks had a rotation wheel that would drive, you know, the movement that would change the hour and the seconds, and they worked on neon bulbs. You know, clocks tell a different story. You know, I won't mention any names. There's somebody out there that works and has a lab, and there's videos out there that will do all these different clocks. Some of these had a transformer in them, but this is a vintage one, and this goes to show you got to understand about electronics. A lot of these places only go by plugging it in. You got to know how to test everything, and this is what people lack and they don't know how to do. It's okay to get all this stuff. You don't know the history of it, but this is a vintage clock right here, and it still works. The numbers moving are the clock, and it's not the ratio of my camera. So this is what I want to show you. There's the alarm set, his and hers. That works. You see that moving? Time. We're going to set the time on this. So let's say it's 2:22 p.m. And this is how you had clocks years ago. This brand was sold locally when